Welcome to the DTC Insider Podcast, where online business owners come to find actionable tips and tactics to grow their businesses. Now, here's your host, Brian Roisentul.
Real quick before we continue with the episode, let me tell you something. If you own or work for a DTC brand and you're not hitting your revenue and profitability goals, you're not alone. Things are getting harder, and what used to work doesn't anymore. That's why it's important to find a business-oriented partner that's focused on improving the levers that will change the game for your business. And believe me, it is possible. At BSR Digital, to give you an example, we have recently helped our clients generate between, listen well, 80 and 700K in extra monthly revenue. If you'd like to explore how we could do the same for you and your business, head on over to bsrdigital.com and book a call with us. Hey, welcome to another episode. I'm Brian Roisentul, your host, and today I'm excited to welcome Annette Azan, founder and CEO of Nuudii System, a revolutionary boob-wear solution that bridges the gap between bras and going braless. Annette's innovative approach has led to impressive growth and a loyal customer base. We are here to dive into her journey, the unique challenges she's faced, and what makes Nuudii System stand out in the market. So I'm very happy to have you here, Annette. Thanks for being here.
Thanks so much, Brian. I'm excited to be here and speak with your audience.
Yeah, so why don't you go ahead and tell them who you are and what do you do at Nuudii System?
Yeah, so I am the CEO and founder of Nuudii. I created the brand 11 years ago. I can't believe I'm actually saying those numbers, but
Wow.
I actually was working in the fashion industry for my entire career, but really in the business of fashion, not in design. And Nuudii was born out of my desperate need to wear a wedding dress. I couldn't find what I needed for underneath the dress. It was very sheer, it was very skin bearing. I had gotten a 3-degree burn from stick-ons, so I wasn't going to take that route. And so a couple of weeks before my wedding, I was desperate and I said, I wonder if I can make something. So I took a fabric never used for the top half of the body and I hand sewed the first nudie. The moment I put it on my body, it was like, whoa, okay, I don't feel anything. It looks like I have nothing on, but I know I have something on. It worked beautifully. Like it disappeared. It just became one with my body. And because of my, 25 years experience, this was a look and feel that I knew a lot of women would want that no product out there had achieved. From the beginning, I never called it a bra because it's different than a bra. It doesn't, the only thing that it has is that it covers the same part of the body, but it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't act the same. It's not made the same. So after that, literally after my wedding, I went back to the drawing board and I said, I wonder what other products I can make, like boob-wear products. And I started to hand sew 2 other prototypes. So, that was, a long time ago. And it took me, it's actually sat in my safe for 5 years because I didn't have the experience in production to get it produced. So I then found my original partner who helped me take those prototypes. And then it took another 4 years to find ways to manufacture it because it's never been done before. This is
Wow.
really a unique
So
product.
9 years in total?
9 years, yes.
It's
You
no
have to have
surprise.
some fire for 9 years.
Right. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, it's like the movies, it's easy to watch the movie and watch the journey,
right.
of the start of the movie and say, okay, so 2 years or 3 years go by like in 5 minutes of the movie, but you need to be there, in the
Yes.
moment, like 5 years, even 1 year is a lot. Like some people don't get results or don't do something in a day or
Yep.
in a week or in a month and they get frustrated. Imagine in 5 or 10 years. And I was going to add something that is the fact that I'm not surprised. In fact, I posted something like that the other day on LinkedIn because some people who, you know, um, innovators, mainly, right?
Hmm.
People who invented products, they spend probably, I said, 2, 5, or even 10 years
Hmm.
developing the product. So it's first, congrats. I admire you because I don't know if I could do the same, spending so much time. But I feel that you learned a lot, right, in that
Oh,
process.
a ton. I mean, especially as a startup, you're not obviously building out a huge team at the beginning. So you have to learn everything. You have to be the accountant. You have to learn about design. You have to learn about everything. So, it's not for everybody, but I mean, I have found it really exciting and it has, kept my timbers burning. And every day I wake up and I'm like, wow, I can't believe that I've done this.
That's amazing. Yeah. So now, let's say fast forward 9 years, you got the product. So, how did you start distributing the product in the beginning? Like friends and
So
family?
yeah. So we were so eager after all that time had passed to really get the product in front of first adopters. Because, when you have something that's different, the masses are most likely not going to adopt it right away. I like to say, like, I was not the Airbnb first adopter. I was like way down the road. Let's stay at somebody's house. Anyway, so we decided to take the product and launch it on Kickstarter. And that was a very big decision because it's like, we're used to such like the kind of the corporate life, and it's like Kickstarters, it was very different. Well, anyways, it was the best thing that we could have done. We were wildly successful on Kickstarter. We did, between Kickstarter and we did Indiegogo, we did $1 million in a few months
Wow.
of product, and then we shipped to over 40 countries. So it was like shooting a cannonball, like right out of the gate, and then we were global right away. So right there, we had a proof of concept. Worked out a little bit of kinks after that, and then once we shipped everybody, which took a few months, then we opened our e-commerce site after that.
Amazing. So I know that fast forward to today, or let's say last year, I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, you grew by 200% or something like that compared to
Yep.
the previous year. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
It was a great year. It's a great
I
year.
can tell. And the most important thing, at least from my point of view, is that it was a really important year in a not that great year for many other brands.
Yes.
It was a tough
Yes.
year, especially after, let's say the technical issues after the iOS 13 update in
Yes.
2021, the global recession, including the US as well, the recession,
Yes.
inflation, and many other things like, people pulling from spending on many things. So why do you think it was such a great year? Did you do something totally different that you said, okay, this was the thing,
Mhm.
or what happened?
There were quite a few factors. A big factor, and I'll talk about that extensively, was we went viral on TikTok. So we did have a strategy that we started in December of 2022, where we were just going to, my team and myself, just educate people because this is a new product and the educational component is really important because we need to manage women's expectations. And nudie can be worn many different ways. So the visual of it is really strong on video. So one of our videos went viral in February, and it was like money was pouring in. Well, like we never thought, and we weren't advertising. I'll just say on TikTok, this was just all organic. So there was zero ad spend. So that one went viral. Then we had another one go viral. Then we had another one go viral. And we basically were selling out. So for like 6 weeks, we just rode that wave. It was
Amazing. So
incredible. So
you said,
that's one thing. Hmm.
yeah, one parenthesis there. I wanted to ask you something for the audience. Two things you said. One, you started in December 2022. Is that correct?
Yes.
So what was how many times a week did you post, if
Yeah.
you remember, right? How many
Yes, I
videos a week?
remember. 3 times a day, 3 videos a day.
Okay. So
Yes.
you had a clear commitment to content.
Yes. 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 3 unique videos a day. So, I mean, we don't have a very big team. There are 6 of us, and it was everybody. It was the designer, it was myself, it was the marketing rep, it was the social media, it was everyone.
What do you mean
Um,
by it was all of them?
we
What
were
did they
all
do?
making content.
Okay. I have never heard
Yes,
of that. So
we were all
please
making
explain,
content.
how does it work?
Yeah. Yeah. So we were all making content. So, and then analyzing. So you were posting and we're analyzing and we're posting. And, we were just like, okay, tootling around a lot. We were getting some growth, but it was nothing big. But I mean, the biggest thing is like you can have tons of followers. I mean, we have almost 200,000 followers now on TikTok, but the content actually translated back into sales. It was amazing. And so, it was a tidal wave. So people were buying and then they were making their TikToks, right? We didn't pay anyone. Okay. We were not gifting anyone. This was all true organic. That was it's been the biggest thing for our company. And I think that's why we've continued to do the videos, just being real. We like to say Nuudii's not for everybody. Okay. We just want to be truthful and like have a dialogue. And I think that there's something refreshing. So we don't Photoshop our models. Like it's like you get to kind of really be a part of our community because we're very accessible. I mentioned to you before, two of my daughters work for me. One is the head of social media, and the other's the head of marketing. Both of them also model for us, and both of them have been either super successful on like photos with ads, and I'll talk about that because one ad that we have been showing since we started in 2020, and I know this goes against all the rules of marketing, has not stopped being like at the top and drawing in conversions. It's like this was not even a real ad. This was just, oh, let's just take a photo of this and we put it up. It's not even great quality, but for some reason, this one ad has always been the top. And usually there's fatigue, right? And you have to switch them out. But for some reason, we're rule breakers. We're just not following a model. We're just following what works for us.
Even Meta can tell that, your rule breakers, and it gives you the ad like the Meta's AI, Facebook
Yes.
ads gives you the
Yeah.
allows you to break the rule and to have the same ad perform well since 2020. I mean, I'm in favor of saying, you don't fix what works. So if
Right.
something worked since 2020, I remember having a client back then before iOS or during iOS, and she was saying, Brian, like, how come the same ad that works like outperform the others all over again as something wrong, like month after month? I said, enjoy the moment. There will come a time in which that will like don't
Yes.
like
Yeah.
be happy about that. So congrats. So I love. I wanted to highlight something for the audience because again, this seems like a movie that everything happened so fast, but it didn't. So for everyone listening or
Right.
watching this, you need to commit, right? They were doing, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if it was Monday to Friday or the 7 days of a week, like 3 times a day. But
Hmm. Yes.
regardless, like 150 videos, 180 videos a
Yeah.
month, right? So it's a lot of content. So you don't give up after a week and say, no, I didn't go
Yes.
viral or I didn't sell out as she promised in the episode. It's like, no, you need to commit. You need to deliver good content, see what works, what doesn't. Do things with people that actually care and are
Hmm.
passionate about that. Because as many people say, and I agree, UGC for most of the times, let's say as a generic comment, is dead, like or AGC, the
Hmm.
actor generated content,
Yes.
to, because people know already. But when
Yeah.
you can tell that someone is passionate about what they do,
Yeah.
like you can see that, right off the bat. So it's a
Yeah.
long term.
Yeah, it is a long-term commitment. And that's the advantage of a startup, right? We're only six people. And so we come together, we're analyzing all the time, right? And I remember I met with the CEO of Things and she told me the best thing. She said, bring everything that you can in-house because nobody's going to know your brand like you, especially at the beginning, especially with a new product that there needs to be some education around it. And so we used to have marketing company, branding
Yeah,
and whatever outsourced, and now it's all in-house and it's doing so much better and we can pivot so quickly, right? Because we're
yeah,
nimble. We're only six people. We're not like stuck in a corporate, like, decision making takes 3 months. So we've used that to our advantage.
that's amazing. Great.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you something else now, really related to ads. We were talking about TikTok, organic, we were talking about
Hmm.
videos. So regarding ads, what do you think about video versus statics? What works best for you?
So right now, and it's always changing. So, I mean, that's the thing. It's always changing, right? You cannot keep your eye off the ball.
Uh,
At one point, it was actually static photos, images, and now it is videos. That's kind of seeming fatigued. We've gone to GIFs, and we are trying out, like as of 2 days ago, carousels.
and
So
do you have, I mean, do you identify the trend on what works? I mean, within each format, let's say video, have you identified whether it's, I don't know, unboxing or something more top of the funnel, or what do you do in the videos?
yeah, so the great thing about Nudie is the unboxing part isn't the exciting part. Like if you have a
Exactly.
product that's just a product, it's like, okay, here's this water bottle. What are you going to say about it? So you have to unbox it, right? But with Nudie, there's 12 different ways of wearing. You're stretching the fabric. Then you're showing how you can, it's a solution for fashion. So we're like putting fashion on top of it. So there's so much more going on with this product than just like a boring, I mean, this isn't boring. This is great. But it's like, how much can you say about it in a video?
Right.
Ours is like, it's like you're watching a movie, right? Because you're doing things. You're physically doing things with the product.
And how do you, I mean, because I think this could be interesting for many people in your position, many companies in your position that probably have only a few people working with them, or some people are
Mhm,
alone and think, how on earth can I create like 180 pieces of content per month,
mhm.
more or less even, but how can I, so how do you organize internally to create the content? Where do you do the shootings? Do you have like a weekly content schedule that you think ahead? How do you come up with those ideas?
Yeah. So most of the people that work for us are content related. So I mean, we have customer service and stuff. So we have like head of customer journey, head of social media, and head of marketing. So those are the three people and myself come together. There's a schedule that's put together. We are analyzing what is working, what is not, more of that, tweaking this, because even though two videos may look slightly alike, we've tweaked it and we've refreshed it. So, but it is not just one layer. You're peeling the layers down. So then we're looking at what's our inventory levels like? What do we need to push?
Right.
What are people responding to? Oh, people are responding to comment and response. So we're always looking for the comment and responses. So there's no one formula. You really have to dig down and analyze what works for your brand, because I know it is not, it's not like set in stone.
Right.
We know another brand who's done famously well. It's Cove. They do like hair clips. It's pretty much like a one product show. She's a small founder. She does wildly on TikTok. She makes all her TikToks. She only posts once a day. Um, she actually has a bigger following than us. And they're not kind of showy, they're just real. She's right like in her living room and she's just doing it. So that's what works for her. What works for us is slightly different. And so I would say to you know, any founders out there, you need to just find out by testing what works for you.
Yeah. And I currently work with some founders that are probably afraid or shy to get out there and show themselves on content, and they keep doing what used to work back then,
Mm,
some other things like photos with models or
yeah.
like static, like, and probably it's like, hey, like, go out there, create content, like it's your brand after all, and that's what sells in 2024.
Yeah. We're about to start filming. We do have a studio that we all work out of 3 days a week. We're going to start filming just kind of the making of Nudie, the behind the scenes, and we're going to start to kind of do just like a series on YouTube, and
Nice.
we're going to test that to see how that is, because I have a video where I'm just talking about the bra industry and how I feel like the bra industry has really done a disservice to women. And then I dug out a video that I took back when Nudie was being built, where I put a Nudie on somebody who's 96 years old. And she's literally in my living room, piles of clothes. I mean, it is really just an organic video. and we cut to showing her in this video. And it's been one of the highest ranking ads that's been playing. You don't even really see the product except for on this 96-year-old.
And
And I'm talking
amazing.
about the industry. So you never know. Just test.
Yeah, exactly. So you mentioned YouTube. I was going to ask you if you leverage or you plan to leverage long form content because I recently the previous interview was with or two interviews prior to this was with the
Hmm.
CEO of BattleBox, and they
Hmm.
have I don't know 700,000 subscribers on YouTube. They leverage long form content a lot. Of course, depending on the industry and products you sell, it makes more or less sense to do short or long form content, right? What do you think about that, and what have you done so far?
Yeah, we haven't done that much, but I have done some kind of I have done some long form. So I've done some videos because we're doing like a WeFunder fundraising campaign right now, which is a long
Yeah.
form video. We've edited that and we've used that. But when we're talking about like showing the inside and the workings of Nudie on a day-to-day basis with the team, that is going to be long form.
Yeah.
And so we'll be testing that.
In case it helps, I mean, not only you, but everyone listening as well. These guys said, like the CEO of these companies said that
Mm.
one thing that helped them grow their subscriber base a lot
Mm.
was the shorts, the YouTube shorts. And the
Yes.
beauty of that is that, yeah, that you can, get that sometimes it will apply more than others, but you can get the reels or TikToks and put them in shorts, right? And
Yes.
they will work many times. So yeah, just in case for you and or everyone listening, I wanted them to keep that in
Yeah,
mind.
that's a great yes. And actually, we just started to do that because I said, listen, we don't know what's going to happen with TikTok, right? So I had our social
Is
media
that do
manager.
you?
She actually, yes, we don't know. We just don't know. So
Yeah.
let's transfer those. And so we've been actually transferring those to shorts. So YouTube is, I think we're at like 6,000 subscribers. We just started to put the focus on YouTube like a month ago.
That's
Yeah.
probably another reminder that we live in the rented land, right?
Yes.
So, so it's like scary. It's like, oh, changes in algorithm. Aha, let's read. Oh,
Yeah.
you're about to be banned. Oh, probably. Like, it's like
It's slippery. It's
we don't deserve
slippery.
this as entrepreneurs. Life is hard already. So,
Yeah.
why, why do they change these things? But yeah, I guess
I mean, we
it's
just so we did have TikTok shop. It really did nothing for us. It's really interesting. It's like we opened the TikTok shop. We sold maybe 10 items. So we just closed it. The minute we
maybe
closed it, like the algorithm is messed up now and we're getting like, I don't know, 400 views versus, like 10,000 would be the average or 50. So we're like, okay, what's happening?
did you test it for a long time?
Did what?
Did you test it for a long time or
Yeah,
just
we had it there when they first started. So I think since November. So we gave it a good 8 months, but we're like nobody was using it.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
very
Okay.
interesting. And I don't know if it's still new where people are thinking it's like kind of inexpensive, kind of, I don't know, gimmicky things or what, but it just wasn't. I mean, we have a TikTok code discount on TikTok. So we're able
Yeah.
to track sales
Yeah.
there, and it was higher than people buying at the TikTok shop, even though you got free shipping
Okay.
there. So,
Interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So what do you do for customer retention? Because I guess ads, you use it mainly for acquisition, right? So what do you
So
do
it's
for
interesting. Yeah. For like 2 months ago, we decided we're going to front load getting to our goal because our goal is planning to do 200% again year over last year. And we've already started to trend that way. We've been blowing away our sales since the beginning of the year. Go figure. But
amazing?
we we said, you know what, we're still new. So we're putting all our money right now into new customers. And that's what we've been doing. So we haven't been retargeting unless we have a sale or unless we have a launch of a new product. So it's all new customers. And we're gonna do that for now because we don't know what's going to happen during the election time with ads. It's like holiday time, the election's happening. We think it's going to be really expensive for ad spend. So we want to get as many people like in our community as customers as we can at the beginning of this year.
Right. When you said, just in case to confirm, when you said retargeting, you mean retargeting existing
Existing
customers, not
customers, yeah.
retargeting website based. Okay, okay,
Yes.
great.
Yeah, existing customers, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
And
our strategy now because we don't know what's going to happen like in October, November.
and how is that working for you? Because depending on the campaign type you use, if you use Advantage Plus or something else, it's you can configure the percentage of existing customers you target, and sometimes for some clients, when we set it to be zero, like no existing customers, it was
Hmm.
more expensive than when we didn't do that. And then
Oh,
reading
interesting.
online, I found, yeah, many people going through the same. I guess it makes sense. After all, Facebook knows who your customers are, and
Hmm.
finding them is,
Easier.
cheaper and, yeah, and easier than getting new ones. But yeah,
We
so there
haven't
was,
seen no, we haven't. As I said, we were over all of our sales goals every month so far this year. It's been pretty incredible, and we have not seen an increase
yeah,
in our CAC. It's just been great, and our conversions are just getting stronger and stronger. I mean, for our category, I mean, as people know, it's like for consumer, it's like if you're like a 1% conversion, we're at like a 3.4% conversion. Like
nice.
so if we can drive people to the website, they convert, right? So we just want to manage our, click-through rate, which has always been pretty much averaging under $1. Yeah.
Great. That's great. So for retention, what do you do?
So we do have our rewards program, which is great. We People really like that. After we went on sale, I'm sorry, after we went viral last year, and we basically ran out of merchandise. That was such a great time for us because we got out of this marking down sales spiral that everybody's in. Like every 2 weeks, somebody's having a sale. It's like they're driving their sales through discounting. Running out of merchandise allowed us just to have people waiting for the merchandise and they will buy at full price. So we have gotten out of that. Okay. So, and I'm saying this because we don't keep retention by offering them discounts.
Nice. Yeah.
We have pretty much 4 large sales a year with everybody else, but we're not marking down. We even for our like returning customer, we give them very small percentages off, like 10%. So what we're doing is we're producing new categories. So we're going into new categories. We went into fashion last year, just like a few pieces that make sense for the brand. We're about to launch swim. So we're
Okay.
drawing people back with new innovative product and things that make sense for our brand. And if people love it, they will come back and buy more because they kind of understand the principles of everything that we make is about comfort, it's about utility, it's about fashion. So it hits all those marks where they'll come back and buy.
Right. And how, like very quickly, if you want, how does
Mhm.
this reward program work?
So every time you buy a dollar amount, you get dollar rewards for. So we are using Yotpo right now.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So then you get to different tiers, and it's kind of amazing because we do pretty much we send out emails on a monthly basis saying, you've got $50 worth of rewards, blah, blah, blah. It's like amazing that like, or you have money sitting here in the back. Sometimes people buy it and they don't even use the rewards. It's amazing. But yeah, the rewards program's great. What didn't work for us really was uh, recommendations like those programs just didn't work for us. Like, you get 20% off when you get a friend to buy a product.
Right.
That just didn't work for us. And I don't
Referrals.
really know any brands that it did work for, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here. And what about SMS?
SMS, last month there was an uptick, but it also seemed to be kind of fatigued. SMS was not doing great. We had a little snafu with email. Email's picking up. Like we want to hit that email is like 30% of every month, like sales are coming in just through email. We are, I'm really proud of our marketing team. I think we have a really clever marketing
I can
team.
tell. I can tell. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I just like to open them because they're hysterical. They're really and that's what our marketing is about. It's like make people laugh, be really innovative, and not like try to be selling them something so much more. And so that's what our marketing is. It's funny, it's fresh, it's about really what's happening because the most of our customers are 25 to 45, so they're like, they're really kind of what's happening in today for
Yeah.
that group. And so emails pretty good for us, but SMS
Okay.
is waning. So we're kind of like dialed back on SMS and just we're not doing as many because that usually
Great.
helps. People just don't want to be, bombarded
Yeah.
or else they'll
Totally get it.
unsubscribe.
I think there's a time and place for every channel, and SMS has its own rules, and probably we should use it for what it was created and not abusing that channel, as you said,
Yeah.
because otherwise it wouldn't be good for the brand. But back in stock or a super flash sale they're running or something that yeah, it
You're going
depends
to
which
want to know about. Yeah, you're going to want to know about it, right? And
exactly.
want to be the
It's
first. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you mentioned you're super proud of your marketing team, so they'll be happy to hear this. So I wanted to ask you something. Probably you know the answer, or probably they do, right?
Mm.
But I wanted to ask it anyway, just in case. Which metrics are you or your marketing team obsessed about?
Oh, I don't think it's one metric because if you take one out, because one metric affects everything else, right? So I'm the money person, right? So I'm always looking at like what are we spending? What is our ROAS or what's our MER? And I don't want our MER to ever go below 4. That's like our baseline. Everything needs to be above. So that to that to me is the biggie. I think the marketing team, because they are overseeing, well, they create all the ads and then they are overseeing email. They're really focused on getting a return on email, right? Turning that into like the existing customers. I am more interested in like is all the money, because we spend a lot of money on advertising, like is it really bringing in sales? And I have to say that our AOV has increased as we've been increasing our stock levels, and we are making money on every sale. I mean, I know that as a startup a lot of people aren't, they're just losing money on a sale. We've
Yeah.
always from the beginning have been making money on a sale.
Yeah, that's important and a great answer, by the way, because I think the metrics, of course, are unique to each business or business
Yeah.
type. So, for example, one thing you said, like if you're not making money on the first order, probably the CAC payback period is a metric that you should look at,
Hmm.
like in which month you're going to get your money back. Like you pay the $50 to acquire a customer, but then they spend only 30 on the first order,
Yeah.
20 on the second one. So probably you're in break even in the second month, right? So the same
Hmm.
with other metrics. If you have subscriptions or something like that, the churn on the subscriptions,
Hmm.
that's something important. And I'm curious about something because we work with everyone we work with and every brand we talk to here in the pod as well. I love asking them one question that I'm curious. Everyone talks about acquiring new customers, and we have discussed that here as well. And that's, of
Hmm.
course, super understandable. It's something that you need to do as a brand. But what about many, for context, many brands are struggling with profitability, right?
Yeah.
So profitability could be, it's, it could be, let's say, boost if you decrease costs, which is what
Hmm.
most brands are doing, or if you increase that customer lifetime value, right? The AOV,
Yeah.
LTV, etc. So most brands focus on the first one, decreasing the cost. Why do you think most brands, again, I'm talking about me now. Most brands I talk to,
Hmm.
at least, and I work with, they focus on that one. Why do you think they don't focus as much on the second one?
Because they're thinking about just this moment and like staying alive, but you need to think about the other one for sure. Like I was talking to my factory, and as we're building out the SKU count, though I don't ever adopt that we're going to be one of these 1,000 SKU count brands. I just don't believe that's how you make money. And by the way, we were profitable last year, so we've got to be doing something right. You do need to think about the long term, right? So we don't have a consumable product, right? So like, why is somebody going to come back? I mean, if they buy like two nudies, it's not like it's going to, you know, fall apart and they're going to want more. So we've created new products that work with different types of clothing or different types of lifestyle things for them to come back to. And now we're moving them into the space of fashion so that, that they are becoming long term, and we're seeing our LTV, I think it's now like $91, like start to increase. And most of our products are around $48. And so as we're building out, we're seeing that. But that's super, super important. And I really don't know why people are thinking, unless they're just like literally, like dog paddling, trying to kind of stay afloat. But if it's all a balance. It's like everything is a balance. You have to balance this with that and then think about the long term at the same time.
One of the last questions I have for you, you said that you and your team record the content, and I love
Yeah.
that. Have you ever done this or thought of doing this, which is inviting some of your customers through a contest, the reward program, or something like that, to record content with you as well?
That would be super fun. I mean, uh, I'm going to use that idea. I'm going to bring that to our meeting next week. We're based in Brooklyn, and we're very, again, we like to be accessible to the customers. We do online styling. So, our customer service person gets on and like Zoom calls with it. I've done some Zoom calls with customers, and people love that. That would be amazing. I think that would be a great opportunity.
Well, if you do like Zoom calls with customers, one company I interviewed, they are man-made.
Hmm.
They they were also trying to disrupt an industry, which is the underwear industry for men. You know,
Hmm.
they reinvented that. You
Love it.
know, and the founders, four of them, are the face of the brand, and you laugh really hard because it's like they are funny all the time. They are everywhere. The hero section, the ads, like how they talk, it's like everything. It's fun. And one thing
Yeah.
they do related to what you said is, this is another good idea if you want, for you and everyone listening, is they record with, of course, the customer's permission, the
Hmm.
calls with the customers. It could be even a phone call. You cannot see the
Hmm.
customer, but you see that like they call. Well, what they do actually is even better. They call the customers to get feedback about their
Hmm.
experience, right? So those calls, some of them they record them, and the ones that are worth it, they turn them into ads, because one was
I
really
love it.
funny. It was like, dude, you bought like one, trunk, I think it was, or boxer, but then he came back and bought 24. What the heck happened? And
Yes.
they called him, and he said, when I put it on, my wife said, "Oh, that looks really good on you." If my wife says that, I'll buy everything from you guys. So
I
he
love
went
it.
ahead and bought 24. So they recorded that conversation, and they said that it was one of their best performing ad ever,
That's
because
great.
it was a legit conversation with a
Yeah.
customer record, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Unsolicited. Yes. And yeah, yeah. That's why that 96-year-old woman in my messy, yeah, it works because it's just real. And customers know, they're tired of seeing a sponsored post. Like, of course, you're going to say nice things about that product. You're getting paid for selling that product. It's like, huh? People are done with that now. They're done.
Yeah.
Even like, I don't even believe in like celebrity endorsements,
Oh no.
you
It's
know?
it's 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 something from the past.
Yes.
That's why well, we can spend hours probably talking about this, but
Yeah.
giving people instruments, tools, like a phone, social media, it democratizes. It's a tough one for me. Sorry,
Hmm.
democratizes the content creation.
Yes.
You saw someone on TV many years ago. Now, the celebrities are not the ones with the most followers.
Yeah.
If you take a look at that and pay attention, with only probably a few exceptions, The vast
Hmm.
majority of people you see in the movies, in everywhere, they have like way less following or followers than like people from home doing good stuff, great stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I
I
think
mean,
this is
yeah, I think you're totally right. And again, it goes back to like if you're a founder and you can be in front of a customer, I try to go in if somebody has posted something on TikTok or wherever, wearing a nudie, I will go in as a founder. I'm like, hey, founder of Nudie here. My God, that looks amazing on you. Blah, blah. They are so appreciative. That
mm,
goes such a long way because it's not just that one person, right? Then they're like an advocate for your brand,
exactly,
right?
exactly. That's that's why many brands we or not actually not many. That's the thing. I wish there were many doing that, but some brands are sending calling customers battle box for example their CX department, they call customers who don't buy after let's say 100 days.
Hmm.
Many brands, what do? They have the classic win back flow.
Yes,
They email
yes,
them.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing. They do have that, but they call them. Hey, what happened?
Hmm.
Because in their case, it's a subscription. It's a different thing, right? But
Yes.
they do want to. They send them thank you notes. Their CX department has a budget. They must spend every single month for gifting, solving issues, no questions asked. So
Hmm.
that goes a long way. Calling your customers randomly or the VIP customers,
Yes.
inviting them to a gathering or to a dinner once a month or once a year or whatever,
Hmm.
that goes a long way. As you said, it's the little things
Hmm.
that makes your customer loyal. Besides, of course, the essentials, having a great product, support, blah blah. But the
Yeah.
rest is being there for them.
Yeah, totally. We're going to do a pop up, our first pop up in fall, and then we'll have a special
Nice.
opening for just the customers that are already in our space, and then opening it up. But yeah, we're looking forward to that.
That's amazing. I wanted to thank you for being here. This was really valuable for me, and I'm sure for the audience as well. But before you go, I wanted to ask you a question. Do you, by any chance, have a book that you love, one you read and you said, this sticks with me to this day? No pressure, that you want to recommend it to the audience?
Yes, Malcolm Gladwell, many years ago, wrote a book called Blink, and it's about how you have this intuitive hit of something that you know is right. And he coined a term called thin slicing, like you really can't qualify it necessarily with words, but you have this intuitive sense. And that's something that I had the moment I put Nudie on my body, and it's been there ever since. And so I want to kind of like share that it's just a fascinating, and he shows different instances of that working, from like composers to CEOs and everybody in between. But that book really resonated with me because it was like it was a word to describe what I went through when I created this product and put it on my body for the first time.
Amazing. I love it. And I don't remember it was mentioned before in the show. So I would love for everyone, including me, to check it out. And
Yes.
remember, guys, listening or watching to this, if you go to the ddcinsider.com, click on this episode, unless you're already there, of course, you will find the show notes, including the link to this book and everything else that we discussed today. So, did you
This
have a
was
good
fun.
time? Uh,
I had a great time. Love chatting with you.
Amazing, me
Thank you.
too. So, before you go, where can people go to learn more about you and Nudie?
So, well, TikTok, nuudisystem.com, or our website. And you'll see all of us there. YouTube, Nudie System, that's Nuudii. Think U for the boobs, I for the nipples, system. And you can find us all over.
Amazing, great. So again, Annette, it was a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for taking the time to record this episode.
Great. Thank you. Take care.
This episode was brought to you by BSR Digital. We help DTC brands grow through paid ads and email marketing campaigns. If you'd like us to help your business grow, head on over to bsrdigital.com and schedule a call with us.